Jim's plowing the garden on this fine spring day. There's a lot of trash that's got to get plowed under. We've always had a lot of rocks in this garden, but it is really good soil. He's not thrilled about having to use 3 horses in such a small, tight area, but that's what the plow is set up for right now, and he didn't want to change the settings on the plow. Put a lot of manure and junk on the soil. I shouldn't say junk. Compost and some ashes, and so there's a lot of stuff here that has to get plowed under. Last year I was going to make the garden smaller, but I think I'm going to go back to making it a little bigger again. It's just Jim and I, but there's always people around that can use produce, and our kids, so it's better have too much than not enough. This garden has always produced well. Plowing it nice and deep, and then I'll harrow it.
A couple of weeks ago I started this job and I just got the first 2 furrows done, and then it was a little wet, so I decided I better wait, and I just put a light coat of paint on the moldboards.
Last year I did use the rototiller a lot more. Right now it's broken and I don't know if I'm going to get it fixed or not. We cultivate with the horses a lot. 1 horse usually. And that works pretty well. Just plowing with the horses goes a lot deeper than when you're tilling with a tiller. It's going to be tricky when we get over close to the fence. Can't get too close there. Jim said he was worried about them stepping on each other with having to, or stepping on their own legs. They've got shoes on, with having to turn so tight. So he's hoping that they don't do that. This is one of the first warm days we've had in northern New York this spring, and it feels so great. And I know that the rain is coming, but we gotta get the ground ready when it can be worked on. Sometimes this is a really wet garden. Seems like they're working really good.
I am plowing the garden a little bit different than I would normally plow in my bigger fields. Normally I would go back and forth in the same furrow, and so we'd have no dead furrow. But with the garden, I would have liked to have changed my tongue around and just put 2 horses on here, but it's just a bit of a pain, and because of the I just didn't want to double around with that, and I just soon keep it adjusted at 3. So I decided to use all 3 for the garden. The problem with all 3 going back and forth, you're continually turning on the ends because it's such a short field, and if you show the horse's feet as we get up into the concrete, if we get up to onto the gravel, you'll see I still have my big shoes on with
I already
corks.
told them all about this.
And so I don't want them to be stepping on themselves, which is what there's a risk doing by turning around so much. More often than not, I will have them barefoot when I'm plowing. It's just safer. But they've done fine so far this year, but I just don't want to. This is the last plowing. I just want to get it done, and so we'll just do it this way and be done.
As you can see, I put leaves and compost and manure. Sometimes I forget if we put manure on in the fall or not, but we did put some more on this spring. I should keep better records, that would help. And it's not always evenly spread, but I figure it gets worked in as the ground is worked.
Buck, the horse that's in the furrow today, has been plowing for me for a long time, and he's basically always been the furrow horse. Before I got this 2-way plow, we would just have a 1-way plow, so we'd always be plowing the same way, so he would always be the furrow horse, and he was always great at that. He would just step in the furrow and stay right there. I never had to worry about him. I've got other horses that walk in the furrow fine too, but he's just good old dependable. Over the years he's been pretty aggressive, but when you put him in that furrow, he just settles right down and walks nicely. I've always liked that about him.
This is a section I had the corn in last year, and at the end of the year, Jim went through with the mowing machine and clipped the corn stalks down, which was great. That's one job that I don't like to have to do. Unfortunately, I didn't tell him that there were raspberries right on the other end of the where the corn was that I'd planted that some friends gave us. And they kind of got clipped off too. But I found them this spring and dug them up, and we're gonna make a raised bed for them. And they're still alive. They're just, and I don't think it hurt them at all. Maybe it set them back a little, that's all. I think Bill's getting a little bit, I'm not Bill, Buck is getting a little bit nervous. He's working good, but he's sweating a little. I think just turning around and around tends to make the horses a little bit more nervous. But since they worked this morning planting the field, not all of them, but some of them, that helped a little bit to take some of the energy out so they're walking good. Slow and steady wins a race. Put right on the field right now. On the garden, I mean. Thanks, Ken. Want some help? Got some plans for this sawdust for the spring. I'm gonna use it around the raised beds we're gonna make, and maybe in with a raspberry patch a little bit. Keep the weeds down. It's going to be quite a pile here, hill.
Another reason why I'm just using the one plow, because I've already put it away once and painted it because it's been a while since I plowed. So now I only have to repaint one plow instead of two.
Yeah, there are. For those who didn't watch the other video, why do you paint the plow when you're done with it for the year?
rust. It doesn't rust, and so it will scour properly in the spring. Scour means the dirt doesn't stick to it, it slides right off.
That plow lays it over so nice, so it just flops right over. There's a big rock.
Can that be moved?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get another. Forget this.
I put my compost in here through the winter. I had cleaned most of it out before Jim plowed,
With this gate that she has, using 3 horses,
which is not
obviously.
straight.
I'm not going to get as close as I would like, but it'll all disc in fine. She does have a rototiller if we can get the thing fixed, and she can rototill the corners to do that.
Yeah. I do like how the rototiller fluffs the soil up, but this is so much deeper, turns the soil over so much nicer, and it's so much easier for me. Takes me so much longer to rototill. It's always so nice to get all the stubble and everything covered up from the winter, and it's just like a fresh start. Even if your garden didn't go well last year, hope springs eternal in the spring, and you can try again. Try to do better on keeping the weeds down. It's nice to have a fresh start. And I love the smell of fresh dirt.
Down here, explain something. See, this has a roller on there, and every time you go back and forth between furrows, that will slide back and forth to keep the evener has to pull in front of the plow that you're using, so that will slide back and forth to plow from this plow, or slide over there to plow from that plow. That's one of the problems with a really short garden like this. It takes a second to flop back in the right spot. So the ends, when I'm plowing, whether it's here or in a big field, the very ends are always the worst, because a lot of times that doesn't get slid over in time, so you're not cutting a full furrow. That's one problem with a small garden. If you explain what we're going to do next as far as the
Harrowing? No, I didn't.
So what we'll do next, not today, but what we'll do next is I have just a single disc, and being so small, I just use one horse. Whether it's, I can use any one of them, but I will just put one horse on and disc it, and then we'll take one of the spring tools we have and smooth it with that. Right at the moment, my disc harrow is up at Ben. Ben is the Amish guy that used to work for me, and he's using the disc harrows, so we'll have to go pick that up at some point and bring it back down. So, but that'll be sometime soon. One more pass.
Okay. It's looking beautiful. You gonna go around one more time even?
Back in where I explained something. Okay, this is my last pass through, and my furrow is fairly deep here. It's deeper over there for some reason, but it's fairly deep. So what I'm going to do is just drop my plow down about halfway, and that way it's just going to cuff the top of it, hopefully, and so it will be kind of level it out, and it'll be easier to smooth it up, and I won't have a dead furrow there. Just like a little bit. Careful there. Just a little bit. Careful. Yeah, it's pretty good. Nice step. Tough step.
Yeah, it's really good.
You want me to get a couple more passes here? Oh,
No, I mean,
last shallow one. That'll probably be fine.
yeah, I think so.
Catch them. Here's another thing I did with this plow, and I'm going to modify it even more so. When I pull up this plow, and it wants to just suck right down low, so I put this vice grip here so it can just stop right there. I want to drill a hole into it and put a bolt through there so I can adjust it in different spots, but that was a big help. But this time we're just going to skim it again. Catch that. Catch that. Okay. Catch that. Oh, there. You happy with that?
Yes, thank you, babe.
Boy, good to keep her happy.
Thank you, horses. Maybe you can rest for the rest of the day.